It was a warm Saturday afternoon, and I was sprawled on my front lawn, phone pressed to my ear, chuckling with my brother about some old family joke. The sun was high, the grass smelled fresh, and for a moment, life felt perfect. Then I saw her, Mrs. Evelyn Harper, standing on her pristine lawn next door, arms crossed over a garish floral robe, her face twisted like she'd just swallowed a wasp. My laughter, apparently, had shattered her sacred suburban silence. "You people," she spat, those 3 words dripping with venom, sharp as a blade, aimed at my heart. I shook my head, biting back a retort. "You learn to pick your fights, don't you? Some folks are just tuned to a channel of pure bitterness, and the best you can do is switch stations." But I didn't know then that Evelyn wasn't just a grumpy neighbor. She was a predator, and my family was her chosen prey. We'd moved to Willow Lane, chasing a dream. I'm a graphic designer working from home, piecing together logos and layouts in my cozy office. My wife, Clara, is a nurse, a saint who stitches up broken bodies with a smile. Our son, Ethan, was 10 then, a bundle of energy obsessed with Iron Man, Fortnite, and Clara's leftover lasagna. He's got my laid-back vibe and his mom's quick wit. After 4 years of saving, we'd escaped a shoebox apartment for this house, a real home with a backyard, a basketball hoop, and a top-tier school district. The neighborhood was a sea of beige houses, beige fences, beige HOA rules typed in a font so dull it could put you to sleep. It was the kind of place where the quiet was the point, where weekends smelled of cut grass and barbecue smoke. I'd sipped coffee on the porch, watching Ethan practice his jump shot, feeling like we'd made it. This was our slice of the American dream. Then there was Evelyn. She lived next door with her husband, Leonard, a ghost of a man eroded by her relentless will, and their son, Caleb, a cocky 20-something we rarely saw. From day one, Evelyn crowned herself queen of the cul-de-sac. Her lawn was a flawless green carpet, her roses trimmed with surgical precision. She watched everything from her window, a vulture in curlers. As head of the HOA's aesthetic committee, she wielded her title like a scepter, making everyone's life miserable. Our first sin was my laughter, but the real trouble started with Ethan's basketball hoop. A crisp HOA notice appeared in our mailbox, declaring it aesthetically displeasing and a source of auditory disturbance. Never mind that 3 other houses had identical hoops. Theirs were white, ours was black. And we were the only black family on the block. That, it seemed, was the real issue. The hoop was just the opening shot in Evelyn's war. It was death by 1,000 cuts, trash cans out 15 minutes early, warnings about vibrations from Ethan's video games, complaints that our Sunday burgers were overpowering. Each grievance came with her sugary, passive-aggressive drawl, "I hate to be a bother, but I'm just so sensitive to," fill in the blank with whatever normal thing we'd done that day. It was exhausting, infuriating, and blatantly about race. Other neighbors grilled, other kids played games, but we were the only ones who were loud, inconsiderate, a stain on her perfect beige canvas. I tried talking to Leonard once, catching him at the mailbox. He flinched like a startled rabbit, mumbled that Evelyn handled neighborhood affairs, and scurried inside. He wasn't her partner, he was her hostage. Caleb was different, a younger, meaner version of his mother. He'd roar his jacked-up truck past our house, revving the engine just to make a point, never meeting my eyes but sending a clear message. The breaking point came at our 4th of July barbecue. It was a simple affair, Clara's sister, her kids, a few friends from the city, Al Green on a Bluetooth speaker, ribs sizzling on the grill. The kids were chasing each other with water guns, and we were happy. That, I think, was what Evelyn couldn't stand. Caleb stomped over, arms crossed like his mother, a red MAGA hat perched on his head like a taunt. "My mom says your noise is giving her a headache," he sneered, spitting the word noise, as if our music was a crime. My friend Marcus started to rise, but I waved him down. I walked over, voice calm. "It's a holiday, man. Everyone's celebrating. We're just having fun." Caleb doubled down, whining about our grill smoke, ignoring the massive smoker 2 houses down pumping out hickory clouds. Your mom got a headache from their smoke. Or is it just our soul food seasoning? I shot back, done with the charade. His face flushed, the tough guy act crumbling. My dad's on the HOA board, he stammered, a pathetic suburban flex. I told him to send his mom to talk to me herself, and he slunk away. Minutes later, Evelyn appeared, standing at her property line, glaring with pure hatred. She didn't speak, just stared, a silent declaration of war. Clara stood beside me, our friends behind us. We didn't stop the music or the party. We stared back, and the battle lines were drawn. After that, the war went cold. Evelyn's curtains twitched constantly. If Ethan played outside for 5 minutes, she'd be on her porch, watering her flowers, but really watching. It was creepy, meant to make us feel unwelcome. Caleb's aggression faded, replaced by something weirder. One day, from my office window, I saw him washing his truck, AirPods in, rapping along with exaggerated gestures, mimicking Kendrick Lamar or J. Cole with eerie precision. It was cringeworthy, a suburban kid playing gangster. Later, a package for him arrived at our house by mistake, high-end studio gear, microphones, the works. When I dropped it off, he snatched it, panic flashing across his face, and slammed the door. The hypocrisy hit me like a brick. Evelyn's little soldier, railing against, you people, was secretly obsessed with our culture, trying to wear it like a costume. I tried the official route, documenting every incident, emails, HOA letters, dates of her snide remarks. I set up a legal security camera on my porch, catching her obsessive staring. At the HOA meeting, I laid out the pattern of harassment, the racial dog whistles, the targeted complaints. The board, Leonard included, squirmed. Evelyn sat in the audience, smirking. They claimed their purview was limited to bylaws, not personal disagreements. It was a masterclass in cowardice. They suggested mediation, as if you can mediate bigotry, and voted to take it under advisement, code for doing nothing. I walked out, knowing no one would help. The system wasn't broken, it was built this way. Then came the Tuesday that changed everything. Clara was working a late shift, and I had a rare in-person client meeting. Ethan, old enough to stay home for an hour after school, knew the drill, lock the door, call me, grab a snack. I was stuck in traffic when my phone rang. Dad, there's a lady in our house, Ethan whispered, his voice trembling. I'm in the pantry. It's the lady next door. She's yelling. My blood froze. Did you leave the door unlocked? I asked, dread rising. No, Dad, I swear I locked it. She was screaming, who's in here, threatening to call the police. Later, I learned Evelyn had a master key from the neighborhood's original locks, kept from her HOA days. She'd seen Ethan get off the bus, saw my car was gone, and decided to investigate a 10-year-old getting a snack. Stay quiet. Stay in the pantry, I told him. I'm coming. I called 911, reporting a neighbor breaking into my home, and drove like a maniac, breaking every traffic law. I screeched into the cul-de-sac as a police car pulled up. My front door was wide open. Inside, Ethan stood by the fridge, clutching a plate of lasagna, tears streaming down his face, wearing his Iron Man shorts. Evelyn loomed in the doorway, a furious silhouette in a stained tank top, screaming into her phone, I have an intruder cornered. He's stealing their food. The gall of it stole my breath. I walked past her, knelt, and hugged Ethan, whispering, you're safe. 2 cops entered, one older and jaded, the other young and stern. Evelyn launched into a theatrical sob story, claiming the door was ajar and she thought we were out of town. We are not out of town, I said, voice low. This is my house, and you broke in. She insisted it was a civic duty. The older cop sighed, calling it a misunderstanding, refusing to arrest her despite my demands for breaking and entering charges. They took statements, gave her a warning, and left, calling it a civil matter. Evelyn stood on her lawn, smirking triumphantly. The law had failed us, so I'd get justice myself, not with fists, but with something sharper. I focused on Ethan, changing locks, adding cameras, talking through his fear. But every time I saw him, I pictured him by that fridge, terrified, and rage burned in my gut. Revenge, they say, is best served cold, and mine was Arctic. Caleb was the key, Evelyn's pride, her weak spot. I scoured the internet, searching for local rappers, and struck gold. A blog post about Coat, a rising artist. The bio was pure fiction, tales of a tough upbringing and authentic struggle. The grainy profile pic showed Caleb's weak chin. His SoundCloud had songs with digitally deepened vocals, cliched lyrics about haters and the hood, and videos filmed in his bedroom, complete with a floral bedspread and a comic shop poster. One frame reflected his window, showing my house's roofline. He was stealing our culture while his mother waged war on us. I downloaded everything. The neighborhood block party was my stage. Evelyn organized it, her annual moment to shine. I bought a projector and screen, telling Clara my plan. She hesitated, then said, "Do it." At the party, Evelyn flitted about, basking in compliments. Around 4 p.m., I announced a Best of the Block slideshow. Neighbors gathered, chuckling at photos of kids and barbecues. Then the screen went black. "Our neighborhood has a rising star," I said, voice booming. Coates' profile pic appeared, his cringeworthy video playing, bedspread, poster, my house in the reflection. Subtitles flashed his absurd lyrics. The crowd gasped, whispering, staring at Caleb, who looked sick. Evelyn's face drained of color. "Let's applaud our most authentic voice," I said, "a young man who loves a culture he was raised to despise." Silence fell, heavy and horrified. Evelyn stood frozen, her perfect world shattered. Caleb bolted for their house, Leonard trailing, his face empty. Neighbors packed up, avoiding her gaze. The Empress had no clothes. For 2 weeks, peace reigned. Their curtains stayed drawn. A "for sale" sign sprouted on their lawn. Ethan played basketball again. Clara and I relaxed on the porch. Then the sign vanished. Evelyn emerged, not humbled but venomous, taping a new HOA violation to our door, Ethan's basketball left out for 20 minutes. The war wasn't over, it was escalating. Evelyn couldn't rule the HOA anymore, so she turned to rumors, whispering that Clara's hospital had careless nurses stealing meds, implying I was a jobless criminal with suspicious packages. Neighbors grew distant, their waves replaced by curt nods. Caleb upped the ante, dumping trash on our lawn, keying my car. We were under siege, the stress a constant fever. Ethan had nightmares. Clara watched her back at work, and I considered selling, letting them win. Then, a lifeline. Late one night, my phone buzzed with a text from an unknown number, "Meet me at the park, alone, 20 minutes. Against my gut, I went, flashlight in hand. There stood Leonard, haggard, wringing his hands. "I want out," he whispered. "Her hate's poison. It's ruined our son, me, everything." He revealed Evelyn's secret. She'd been embezzling HOA funds for 15 years, thousands skimmed from contracts, funneled into a hidden account. He had records, bank statements, a ledger. "Give me a week to leave, and it's yours," he said. "Burn her down." It was treachery, but I took the deal. 3 days later, a manila envelope appeared in my grill cover, stuffed with damning evidence. I needed to neutralize Caleb first, his rage felt like a ticking bomb. That Saturday, I cleaned the garage, door open, Ethan shooting hoops. Caleb's truck roared up. He leaned against it, taunting Ethan, "Can't play with an audience, little man." Ethan told him to leave, but Caleb crossed our property line, looming over him. Or what? Your daddy's a coward. Then he shoved Ethan hard. Ethan fell, scraping his elbow, crying out. I charged from the garage, grabbed Caleb's shirt and slammed him against his truck, his head cracking the window. Touch my son again, and this will feel like a tickle, I growled. You and your mother are done. Evelyn ran out, screaming, assault. He's trying to kill him, playing the terrified mother for the neighbors. Police sirens wailed. 4 cops arrived, hands on holsters. The lead officer, from the break-in, ordered me to put my hands up. I'm not doing that, I said calmly. He assaulted my son on my property. It's all on camera, uploading to the cloud. I pointed to 2 driveway cameras. Evelyn shrieked that I was lying, but I showed the footage, Caleb's taunts, the shove, my defense. The officer's face soured. You want to change your story? He asked Caleb, who stammered. Your son committed battery, he told Evelyn, cuffing Caleb as she sputtered. Then I handed over the envelope. This is for your fraud division, I said. She's been embezzling HOA funds for 15 years. It's a felony. The officer glanced at the ledger, then at Evelyn, whose face collapsed in horror. Her empire was ashes. The cul-de-sac is quiet now, a true quiet. Evelyn's family vanished, arrests, shame, or both drove them out. Ethan's back to his hoop, Clara's at ease, and I'm still here, watching the sunset from my porch. Some say I went too far, shaming Caleb, baiting him. But they trespassed, terrorized my child, waged a racist war on our peace. I didn't break the law. I held up a mirror, showing their ugly truth. Justice wasn't blind, it was a projector screen and a manila envelope.